there a little. So now let's go into our history. Let's go to Deuteronomy. So now we know things written aforetime, that the entire Bible covers us. So now we're going to use the Bible to show you who we are and what happened to us. Deuteronomy 28, started verse number, first read 1 and 1. Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Deuteronomy 1 verse 1. These were the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this.
So these be the words that Moses spoke to all Israel. He spoke these words to all Israel. All right. So now, historically, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, there was a mixed multitude of people that came out with them. However, he's making clear that these words were only spoke to Israel. When you go back into the history in the Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, it tells you that when God called the Israelites to the mountain to hear the laws of Moses, that he told them to separate themselves from the mixed multitude so that the law was given to Israel. And then Israel's job was going to be to give that information to the mixed multitude that came out amongst them, because they came out amongst them as their servants. All right. Now, 28 and 1.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So, you hear that? God said, he told the Israelites when they came out of Egypt, he said, look, I'm going to give y'all some prophecies. If y'all do everything that I commanded y'all to do at Mount Horeb, Mount Sinai, if y'all keep those commandments and laws, I'm going to set y'all as a nation above all other nations on the earth. That's why he only gave those laws to Israel. Because by the laws of God, people rule the earth. The entire Bible has been used to subdue the entire earth. Even though everybody don't believe in it, no matter where you go, Christianity is spread across the globe, and that's how they came and conquered every land across the globe, with a Bible in one hand and a sword in another.
Right.
So the Bible, we know, has power. The problem is we were taught the Bible in a way that would keep us submissive and subservient to a group of people that we were told to be over. We were supposed to be above all nations. That was from creation. Keep reading.
And all
jump to 15.
Verse 15.
Now, the blessing was if we kept the commandments, we'd be above all nations, right? But let's see what happened.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now the opposite was told. If you keep the commandments, you're above everybody. If you break the commandments, you're below everybody. I'm going to put curses on you. Why? Because God called the children of Israel gods on earth. How many people in here ever heard that we were gods on earth? You've heard that before? You heard that before, people? You heard that before, Shalom? You heard that before? We used to be gods. I used to wonder all the time, if I was a god, what happened? How did I lose? How am I not a god no more? How am I ending up in jails and in prisons and, you know what I'm saying, in all types of conditions in the worst parts of the city, even though I got my diploma and I tried college and I did everything, but how do I keep ending up at the bottom of everything? I always wondered, right? But God said that I created you as gods on earth. Read that for me real quick.
82.
Psalms 82. He said, I created y'all as gods on earth, but I gave you a power to remain in your godhood, but y'all shook the power. Read that.
Psalm 82 verse 1. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
No. Just jump straight to it.
Verse 6. I have said, ye are gods.
God said, ye are gods. This is King David. He's writing to the children of Israel. I have said, ye are gods. Read.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
And all of y'all are children of the Most High. Read.
But ye shall die like men.
But you're going to die like men. Why? Because of sin. Because of sin, we die. So he said, you're going to die like men, though. You're not going to die like gods. So that's telling you that by not keeping the commandments, if that was our choice, that we would be bumped from godhood to a life of perpetual servitude. All right? So go back to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said, if you don't do these commandments, Israel, then all of these curses are going to come on you and overtake you. All right? So
I guess one question I have is something like, these are my kids right here, and I'm telling them to do something. You don't do this, you'll get in trouble. But at the same time, I should be teaching them at the same time as I go along with them, right?
Yes.
So why do it have to be death?
well, okay. Death comes in two forms in the Bible. Let me show you one form of death. We know death to be dying, your breath taken from you, right? Let's see another form of death. Give me Jeremiah 17. I'm going to give you two forms of death, Ken. That's an excellent question. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4, I think it is. Or was it 5?
Heritage.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So the Bible said that you, Israel, will discontinue from your heritage. Now, what comes in a heritage? In a heritage, your language, your education, what you believe in, your customs, the way you dress, the way you eat, where you live. All of those things are part of your heritage. The land you own, all of that's part of your heritage, right? But God is saying you're going to discontinue from your heritage. Read.
That I gave thee.
That I gave you.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
And I'm going to cause you to serve your enemies. We read in Deuteronomy 28:15 that was coming to place because of us not continuing in the commandments of God, right? Now give me Proverbs chapter 21 verse 16. Yep. So we would lose the heritage, meaning if we lose our heritage and the law and understanding of God as our heritage, then we lost our understanding as part of our heritage, right? Meaning we don't know who we are no more. That's part of what we're about to read. Read that.
Proverbs 21 verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding,
whoever turns their back and wanders away from the understanding of the Bible,
shall remain
in
the congregation of the dead.
That means we die spiritually, Ken. Now we live thinking that we're everybody else and that everybody else's customs are our customs. We no longer have understanding as to who we are. And when we don't have understanding as to who we are, we're not following the commandments. We're no longer connected to our God, which was our power. Let me show you how big that is. Baruch 4:1. Let me show you how big that is. Because right here it says if you turn from the commandments, then you're going to be in the congregation of the dead, right? Meaning spiritual death. But watch this. Read that.
Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
The Bible is the book of the commandments of God. Read.
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that's always going to be here. Read.
All that keep it,
all that keep these laws and commandments in the Bible
shall come to life,
shall live. Does that mean that suddenly I raise from the grave? Physically? Like if I die and I'm in the dirt, all of a sudden I'm going to come out that casket and out of the dirt? No. It means spiritually, if you keep these commandments, you're now seen as a living person in the eyes of God. So when he gave us his commandments, he brought us into life. But when we broke the commandments as a nation, then now we die. So you have both the spiritual death and the physical death. Okay. But most people don't understand that. Yeah, finish up.
But such as leave it shall die.
You see that? So it's talking about spiritual death. So it's not always physical death. And I can show you Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. I'll show you. It's not always a physical death. But not understanding who you are. Serena Williams right now. Anybody seen Serena Williams lately?
Yeah, I've seen it.
She's bleached her skin. She don't look like Serena no more. Anybody seen Sammy Sosa?
Yeah, you don't believe it too.
Yeah. What did they lose, Ken? They lost pride in self.
They lost their mind. So
they dead spiritually in the eyes of God. Anytime you lay down your heritage and who you are and never search to pick it back up, you're dead. All right. How is it that we get off of slave ships, get beat, go through 200-300 years worth of slavery, then Emancipation Proclamation comes in 1863, and nobody said, hey, when's the first boat going back to Africa? Who said that? Nobody.
So when you say Serena Williams, right? So in a situation like that, are you saying that when they do stuff like that, they can't be no low self-esteem. They're going through life or something.
No, that's what it is. But that's called spiritual death. Because the Bible is here to lift you up and give you self-esteem. Like I said, if you keep the commandments, it gives you life. You're a lively person according to God. So you're not going to have that low self-esteem. You're not going to have that low sense of worth. Do you see what I'm saying? You're going to understand God said, I'm a God. I'm not bleaching my skin. My skin is beautiful.
Right.
I'm not doing this to my hair. My hair is beautiful.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to have a pride in who you are because you understand and accept and respect the fact that God gave that to you. So you're not going to want to be like nobody else. You're going to want to, you only want to be like what God made you. That's death when we walk around looking like that, living like that, doing that. When I was out here in these streets, bro, I was living all death. You see what I'm saying? I was living all death. I didn't come to life until I found this book, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11.
But here's what happened. All them years that I spent in church, I was never taught to actually fear God. In church, they teach us that it means having a respect for God. Guess what? God killed the entire earth at one point in time. He flooded the entire earth and left 8 people here and repopulated the earth with 8 people. In the New Testament, he said, hey, man, look. Well, he didn't say, but they're telling the story of a time when he spoke and said, look, man, I can kill everybody here and lift up a whole new race of people, my people, from these rocks on the ground. This is a God we talking about. So as his children, if he created us as gods on earth, our punishment can't look like everybody else's punishment. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you a rich daddy, you know, when we poorer, we got punishments and we still go through the same type of punishments, right? But if I got a $4 million house and I bought you a big Benz sitting out there and you got this and you got that, I got to take a lot more away from you than the kid down there who don't have nothing but a bicycle. Or all that kid got is sneakers.
Yeah, I be trying to understand, but that's kind of heavy though.
That's real heavy.
You know?
And that's because we haven't understood for how long that we are actually gods on earth. Like our punishment has to look different.
Yes, it's like it's something like I'm gonna give you the worst.
I'm gonna give you the worst. Why? Because I expect you to be the best.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word.